She looks beautiful. Yeah.
Good evening, and please be seated. Margaret and Joseph are so happy to have you all here on this special day. Before we begin, I'd like to take the precaution of asking you to make sure all electronic devices are silent and there's no flash photography. We are here to celebrate love. Love organizes our large and sometimes unpredictable world. It is that which encompasses our human experience. It is the basis for the peace of family and friends. God's greatest gift bestowed upon us is the gift of love freely given between two people. All of you are here today because you, in one way or another, have been a part of Margaret or Joseph's life. On behalf of the bride and groom, a welcome to all who came to celebrate today, adding to both of their lives to create something greater than that which existed before. And now, today, Margaret and Joseph become a pair that is natural, sometimes complex, occasionally irrational, but always real. You don't have to have a ceremony to have a marriage. And when you think about it, the whole thing is kind of weird. You're standing on a stage, looking fancy, and being stared at by the people who mean a lot to you. The marriage ceremony has been an important feature across all cultures and religions, generations and societies. We have thousands of important moments that happen throughout our lives, but this one is regarded as so important, we acknowledge its special status by sharing it with others and with God. Why? Because despite all of our differences, love is what we all share. It's the great unifier, our one universal truth, that no matter who we are, where we've come from, what we believe, we know this one thing: love is what we're doing right. That's why you both are standing here. That's why you were all here to watch them stand up here. We have all loved in our lifetimes, and in this moment, we're reminded that the ability to love is the very best part of our humanity. Corinthians chapter 13, verses 4 through 10 tells us this. Love is patient, love is kind. It does not envy, it does not boast. It is not proud. It does not dishonor, it is not self-seeking. It is not easily angered. It keeps no record of wrong. Love does not delight in evil, but rejoices with the truth. It always protects, always trusts, always hopes, always perseveres. Love never fails. But where there are prophecies, they will cease. Where there are tongues, they will be stilled. Where there is knowledge, it will pass away. For we know in part, and we prophesy in part. But when completeness comes, what is in part disappears. The actions that we take to express our love for each other is what this is all about. Wrapped in joy, consumed by hope, and overflowing with love. May all of your desires for your love be fulfilled. And may you have the vision to hold one another in the highest regard. May you have the patience to listen and the generosity of soul required to keep the promises made here today. May you love each other fully, freely, and without limits. Do you, Joseph Salvatore Spisero, take Margaret Ander Kinderen to be your wife, knowing that you will be a faithful and loving companion? On this day, in the presence of family and friends as witnesses, do you vow to always be with Margaret and support her in times of sickness and in times of health, in times of joy and in times of sorrow? Do you promise to love her and console her, laugh with her and grieve with her, and to be truthful and honest with her for as long as you both shall live? Do you, Margaret Ander Kinderen, take Joseph Salvatore Spisero to be your husband, knowing that you will be a faithful and loving companion? On this day, in the presence of family and friends as witnesses, do you vow to always be with Joseph and support him in times of sickness and in times of health, in times of joy and in times of sorrow? Do you promise to love him and console him, laugh with him and grieve with him, and to be truthful and honest with him for as long as you both shall live? You've both chosen to wear rings as a reminder of these promises. People often say wedding bands are a perfect circle, with no beginning and no end. But these rings did have a beginning. The stones were formed a long time ago, deep within the earth. Eventually, a series of lucky events caused them to rise to the surface, where someone mined them. Metal was then liquefied at 1,000 degrees, molded, cooled, and polished. Something beautiful was made from raw elements. Love is like that. It comes from humble beginnings and through a combination of faith, serendipity, and effort. Imperfect beings shaped into something extraordinary. It's the process of making something beautiful where there was once nothing at all. As you look at these rings over the years, remember that you've created something invaluable. And just as I know you'll protect these rings, you'll protect the commitments you've made to one another. You may now place the rings on each other. Margaret and Joseph, by the power vested in me by the state of Massachusetts, I now pronounce you husband and wife. Joseph, you may now kiss your bride.